Welcome everybody back with a video. Today we're going to be doing the top 10 best units in the game. So let's go right into it. So we are going to be looking at every single character and every single piece of content being Arena, GQ. While yes, Arena is a pretty dead game, but we have to look at it since it's a top 10, right? Do keep that in mind. So I don't get me wrong, I know it's dead. But we have to look at it. So every single piece of content, GQ, IT, co-op, everything, right? We are looking at every single thing. But keep in mind, this is not a who I like. This is more of a top 10. We have to look and dissect every single character thoroughly, right? Can't really say, oh, I like this character better because he plays better. Right, don't get me wrong. You can say that, right? But, like, this is not a who I like list. It's more of a top 10 list. So there are some tight races in here. Don't get me wrong. You could debate between a lot of them. You really could, especially when it comes to the top 4, personally. You could easily make some debates for all of them. But this is just my opinion. Keep that in mind. But on that, though, hope you guys enjoy the list, and I will see you guys later on. Starting off the list is going to be Spirit Surfer with Yuki. He does have the Lacerate and Paralyze with the Sword Killer. Berserker 40%, Bruiser 20%, Debil 5 seconds, Devastation 40%, Frenzy +1, Guard Break, Havoc 20%, Recover 20% Stamina, and he does have the 80% SP boost. Not only does he have that, he has all stats immunity, 100% to Resorber dodges, and Sprinter +1. SA1 is going to be 18% mag, SA2 will be the 960 into Homing Vortex, SA3 will be a Beyond Full Screen. In terms of IT and Arena, this Keyskate will be performing not phenomenal. When it comes to GQ though, you can use him pretty much every single week thanks to having Paralyzed. But do keep in mind that since he does not have any Sharpshooter or Marauder, you have to be extremely careful to only take him into range weeks. If you take him into melee weeks, he will not be at any use. Cannot use him at all. But do keep in mind, he's still going to be very, very good when it comes to a lead. Even without Killer, still makes him some of the best unit in terms of GQ. But overall play, he's phenomenal. And having Lacerate Paralyzed, even if they try to immune you Paralyze into IT, he has Lacerate. So having double stats elements helps them tremendously since they like to really shaft Paralyze when it comes to IT play. But overall, in terms of just general play, he's great. When it comes to PvP, technically you could use him just like how you use 6th Anniversary Aizen for basically annihilating every single PvP unit. But overall, that is Keyskate in a nutshell. Next on the list is going to be Kenpachi, Spirit Surfer with you. He has weakening on everything with a Sword Killer, Element Reversal, Bruiser 20%, Debil 5 seconds, Devastation 40%, Frenzy +2, Havoc 20%, Marauder, Melee Damage 30%, Co-op Quest, and Poise. And lastly, he does have the full stamina only, increased strong attack damage 40%, Sprinter +1, and Weakened Duration. SA1 is a 750 by 750, SA2 will be a 3k beam, and then SA3 will be a Beyond Full Screen. This Kenny hits like an absolute truck. Unlike other ones though, he does not need to proc a 80% SP boost to have a high amount of damage. For him, all he has to do is just stay at full stamina, and he has Frenzy 2 with a 40% Berserker. He hits like an absolute truck. Can use him in every single piece of content. He's going to be great in terms of epic grades. He's going to be great in terms of IT, because it doesn't matter what affiliation they are, because he will one-shot them. In terms of Brave Battles, you could use him in there. I do use him in there against Karyoshiki's, but it's not the greatest. But when it comes to Arena, he will be good in there as well to an extent just because of the Element Reversal. But besides the Element Reversal, he doesn't really have much else going for him in terms of Arena. Without any last ditch, he's basically going to be free fodder. But that's pretty much Kenpachi in a nutshell. Number 8 on the list is going to be Spirits Are Forever with you, Yoruichi. She is a Rancard killer with weakening on everything. She has Element Reversal, Berserker 40%, Damage Inflicted at full stamp 20%, Debil 5 seconds, Devastation 40%, Frenzy +1, Havoc 20%, increased as element chance against Mind Attribute enemies, and she does have the 80% Spiritual Pressure boost. Not only does she have that, she also has Team Party buff, which is recover 20% stamina going to each room, Marauder, and Sprinter +1. So her kit is as follows. SA1 is going to be a 750 AoE distant, SA2 is going to be an 870 lunge, and the SA3 is going to be a Beyond Full Screen. This Yoruichi has Disabler versus every single mind enemy, which is actually extremely valuable in this current time of the game. IT is where you are more than likely going to be this Yoruichi, and it does not matter what it is because she will be able to proc weakening against him. Not only having Disabler, but having alongside Spiritual Pressure boost 80%, which means she is more than likely going to have the 80% SP boost almost 100% of the time, because more than likely she will be proccing the weakening. Not only does she have that, but she also has the damage inflicted at full stam, which makes her damage even more crazy. Keep in mind this Yoruichi can nuke as hard as a unit with just bombardment. Yes, damage inflicted at full stam with the 80% spiritual pressure boost pushes her ahead of a unit with bombardment in terms of the nuke damage. Overall, I think she's great, but what does hold her back, in my opinion, will be her kit, because it doesn't really have the greatest range when it comes to the SA1. If you've noticed in IT, she has a hard time when it comes to big mobs, but she's great still. She had a better SA1, I would put her higher. But other than that, though, in terms of IT, she's great. In terms of GQ, she's great. When it comes to PvP, probably not going to be using her. But when it comes to Arena, she'll actually be pretty usable because she does have the element reversal and she does have Disabler, which is really, really nice to have. And she does have 4 flash steps since she's a Yoruichi. Coming at number 7 is going to be Spirits Are For With You. Retsu, she has weakening and drain on everything. She heals on the SA3. She has a Hollow Killer, and she is a technique unit with the Strong Attack Recharge 12%. She has Berserker 20%, Bruiser 20%, Damage Inflicted as full stam 20%, the build 5 seconds, Devastation 40%, Frenzy +2, Havoc 20%, Marauder, Weaken Defense. Her innate skills are going to be Medic, Reduce Strong Attack cooldown 6%, and Sprinter +1. So at full stam, she has 18% recharge, and pairing that 18% recharge with the best SA1 in the game, which is going to be a 3k beam. SA2 is going to be the suction vortex into a pushback. SA3 is going to be a full charge attack, which is an 840 radius to a 1080 radius, and it does double the damage once you fully charge it, and you will be able to heal more once you fully charge the SA3. Overall, this Retsu is a machine when it comes to IT and GQ, because spamming that SA1 in co-op, pretty much, she is just you're gonna see that SA1, she'll be able to carry every single room. Does not matter, even if she has off killer, she will still be carrying a lobby. She has great support, she's able to heal the team. When it comes to GQ, though, you could use her in 2 weeks of GQ if you would like to, in terms of the melee hollow and range hollow, but do keep in mind, she would not have the ×2 damage inside the range hollow. But when it comes to upgrade, since she does have the charge attack and weaken defense, she's gonna be a great usage in there as well. And then when it comes to Arena, I think she'll be okay in Arena. SA1, she'll be able to snipe across the map, but she does not have any last ditch to really keep her alive in terms of Arena meta. But overall, she's a very, very fun character. You can argue her that she's the best tech unit in the game, but it just comes down to preference, to be honest. But overall, I love her a lot, and having Friendly 2 with the weaken and drain, she's more than likely going to stay at the full stam. But other than that, though, that's pretty much Retsu in a nutshell. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Bruno with the Arrancar Sword Reaper Killer, weakening on everything. He has Berserker 40%, Bombardment +1, Bruiser 20%, the build 5 seconds, Frenzy +1, Havoc 20%, Hidden Enemy Chance 100%, Poise, and Sharpshooter. His innate skills are going to be Dodge, Sword Reaper damage, my bad. Last Ditch Survival 100%, and he does have Sprinter +2. His kit is going to be a 40% SA1, 960 SA2, and a Beyond Full Screen SA3. This Bruno is fantastic when it comes to GQ. You can use him in 4 weeks of GQ, being able to nuke thanks to having Bombardment and weakening on top of that. When it comes to Arena, he's absolutely the best unit in Arena still to this day, even after many counters. They made so many counters for this Bruno, but it does not matter. Him having Last Ditch as well makes him even more toxic when it comes to Arena. On top of that, when it comes to epic raids, he'll be great in there as well, thanks to having Bombardment. When it comes to PvP, you could technically use this Bruno as well if you would like to, because honestly, having Dodge Sword Reaper with Aizen's running around inside PvP, this Bruno can really cook a lot of Aizen, especially in terms of offense, right? If you put Bruno on your team, they attack you on your defense, there's a good possibility you could RNG your way to a victory. Or you could run him on your main team as well, since he does have a Soul Reaper killer. Possibility that he could kill a captain nowadays, Soul Reaper, right, is very, very high, but do keep in mind, it is very, very RNG and very dupe dependent. But overall, he's great still to this day, has so much value having Sharpshooter, Double Killer, and being just a overall fantastic unit. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Artbook Ichigo with the Double Killer, being a Soul Reaper no affiliation killer with weakening on everything and a 14% recharge. 60% Berserker, Bombardment +1, Bruiser 20%, the build 5 seconds, Frenzy +1, Havoc 20%, Marauder, Poise, innate skills are going to be all stats immunity, and he does have Sprinter +2 with Long Stride on top of that. Overall, He zooms around the map and he's very, very fun to play. SA1 is going to be a 750 by 750 SA1. SA2 is going to be the 960. SA3 is going to be a beyond full screen. This Artbook Ichigo is fantastic in every single piece of content, just like Aizen and just like everyone else moving forward. And IT doesn't really have to worry about whatever's on the floor thanks to the all-stats immunity. And being able to dodge around, he's pretty much going to be non-stop. He pretty much can't be killed, right? Because you'll be able to dodge around, run around with a long stride, and sprinter +2. And then you really don't really have to worry about whatever's on the floor. In terms of damage, 60% Berserker will carry you a long way. On top of that, you could use him in 4 weeks of GQ, thanks to having Bombardment +1 and Weakening on top of that. If you don't want to use him as a main lead, you can also use him as a side. When it comes to GQ, though, he's going to be good, right? He's going to be really, really good. But when it comes to epic grades, going to be good. Same thing, just like Bruno, thanks to the Bombardment with Weakening. When it comes to PvP, though, the only thing you're going to be using Artbook Ichigo, thanks to just Aizen just being much better than him. But lastly, when it comes to Arena, he's still usable, still to this day, thanks to having the all-stats immunity, and thanks to him having Last Ditch. Last Ditch is very, very crucial when it comes to the Arena meta, but him having that makes him very, very good in most of the content overall. Coming in at number 4 is going to be 6th Anniversary Aizen Double Killer, Soul Reaper Captain Killer with Weakening and Drain on everything. He has Bruiser 20%, Damage Inflicted at his full stam 20%, Debil 5 seconds, Devastation 40%, Frenzy +2, Havoc 20%, Hidden Enemy Chance 100%, Sharpshooter, and Sprinter +1. His innate skills are going to be Dodge, Soul Reaper damage 50%, and he is immune to Paralyze 100%. He has the best kit in the game, which is a 3K Beam, the 960 into Homing Vortex SA2, and a Beyond Full Screen for a SA3. This Aizen can be used in every single piece of content, ranging from IT to PvP, to Arena, and lastly, just epic raids in general and PvE, right? So overall, Aizen is a 10-10 in every single content you bring. In PvP, he can blow up every single Kiriyashiki, Yuhaba, and Spirits of With You, Kenpachi as well. This Aizen is so good thanks to having that Soul Reaper Captain Killer, which actually makes him so good when it comes to Brave battles, when it comes to IT, thanks to the Frenzy +2, and having that Homing Vortex into basically the 960 into Homing Vortex. It allows him to proc thanks to having Frenzy +2 and having Weaken and Drain. Everything is basically enough to keep him at full stam almost 100% of the time. This Aizen will be forever good in every single piece of content in the future and moving forward. Coming in at number 3 is going to be 7th Anniversary Ichigo. 7th Anniversary Ichigo is literally a somewhat better Aizen. I personally think he's on a little bit better than Aizen. Let's get right into it. So, Ichigo has a Soul Reaper, a Rongai Killer, 2 great PvE killers, 14% recharge, Paralyze and Weakening on everything. So, Berserker 40%, Bombardment +1, Bruiser 20%, Debil 5 seconds, Frenzy +1, Hidden Enemy Chance 100%, Shared Complete Status Immunity 100%, Sharpshooter, Status Damage, Special Bruise. His innate skills are going to be Chance to Inflict, Paralyze, and Weakening every 5 seconds, Havoc 20%, and Sprinter +1. His kit is going to be a new SA1, which is a 420 width, a 4,200 length. It's not a bad SA1. It's a hit or miss, to be honest, but you do have to line it up for it to be pretty good. SA2 is going to be the 960 into a Homing Vortex, absolutely broken SA2. SA3 is going to be the Beyond Full Screen. Now, this Artbook Ichigo, but this 7th Anniversary Ichigo is one of the hardest nukers in the game. He's not the best nuker in the game, but he's one of the hardest nukers in the game. Right now, currently, you are able to do a sub 000 run in GQ, which means you clear the run in 0 seconds. That's how strong these units are being released. We are pretty much at that point where Caleb has to release harder content. This Ichigo nukes like a Christmas Noel. Keep that in mind. He's great in IT, having shared complete stats immunity, because every single person on the team will be immune to whatever Ichigo steps in. When it comes to Arena, he's going to be the same thing. He's immune to everything. But on top of that, he's also able to inflict Paralyze and Weakening every 5 seconds, and no one's really immune to Paralyze when it comes to Arena. So you're pretty much going to get Paralyzed 100% of the time. When it comes to PvP, he's probably going to be the same thing, just like Aizen, where you could use him in every single Brave battle fight, to be honest, because they have the exact same kit, but Ichigo can Paralyze, and not many people are immune to Paralyze. And then when it comes to epic raids, he's just going to do so much more damage when it comes to Aizen, thanks to having Spiritual Pressure Boost, 80%, and Bombardment alongside it. But that's pretty much Ichigo in a nutshell. Let's go onwards to number 2. Coming out number 2 on the list is going to be 7th Anniversary Uryu with a wrong card, no affiliation killer with weakening and drain on everything, and has a debuff on his special. He has a speed attribute character, strong attack damage 20%, buff to the entire team, Berserker 20%, Bruiser 20%, debil 5 seconds, Devastation 40%, Frenzy 2, guard break hidden enemies having 20%, and he has Disabler versus every single power enemy, which is great. On top of that, his soul tree, his innate skills are going to be recover 20% stamina for the entire party going into each room. He has long straight and sprinter +2. SA1 will be a 3k beam, SA2 will be 870 into a 1080 lunge, and then the SA3 will be a beyond full screen. This Uryu hits like an absolute truck, and having the saber and everything, he will be proccing the weakening and drain, which will keep him at full stamina and will basically make every single run you do anywhere extremely easy. Even without having Disabler, he does have Frenzy 2 with 40% Berserker, makes him an absolute truck just in terms of damage overall, even without proccing, weakening, or drain. In terms of epic raids, he has a debuff mechanic which will basically explode the health of the boss. In terms of GQ, you can use him in 2 weeks of GQ, but since he does not have any Marauder, you could only use him in 2 weeks. You have to be extremely careful. He also does have a gauge effect, which the gauge effect is reduce strong attack by 30% once it's full, and gives him 100% Berserker and 50% less taking less damage. But there's really not hard enough content in the game to really be using this gauge effect. If it were more content to use this gauge effect, I would put him in number 1. But at the current point of the moment in game, cannot really make much use of it. But overall, Uryu's great. I love him. But that's pretty much Uryu in a nutshell. You can also use Uryu in Arena because there's nothing that can really stop taking the damage or dodge Uryu's damage. In terms of Arena, he's very, very top tier. Just no last ditch, but he's still great in Arena nonetheless. Lastly, number 1 is going to be Genryusai Yamamoto. Quincy killer, hollow killer, double killers. He has burn and weakening on everything. He has a 12% recharge, and he's a power unit. Let's get right into it. 40% Berserker, bombardment +1. Damage to burn enemies 40%. Damage to weaken enemies 40%. The build 5 seconds. Frenzy +1. Marauder. Shared complete stats immunity 100%. Stats and spiritual pressure boost 80%. Weaken defense, and he does have innate skills as well, which is dodge hollow damage 50%, havoc 20%, and sprinter +2. He has the best kit in the game, which is a 3k beam SA1. A 960 into homing vortex SA2, and he does have a beyond full screen SA3. This Yamamoto is absolutely cracked out. In terms of damage, he does a crap load of damage once he procs a status element. He will gain the 80% spiritual pressure boost, but not only on top of that, he will gain an extra 80% thanks to the 40% to burning and weakening enemies. He is able to nuke tremendously in GQ. At 2 of 5, he nukes harder than a 5/5 7th Anniversary Ichigo and a 5/5 Christmas Noel. Keep that in mind. At 2 of 5, he nukes as harder as them. Absolutely crazy. But with the way Power Creep is going, they have to release harder content. This Genryusai is absolutely cracked. The best unit in the game, hands down, in my opinion. He punches out Uryu just by a little bit, little margins, but when it comes to GQ, you can use his Yamamoto in every single week of GQ. Does not matter if he has killer or not, but if you have him 5/5 and you have some good sides, you can use him to nuke every single week. When it comes to IT, he's going to be perfect because he has complete shared status immunity, so whenever Yamamoto steps into a pool, everyone will be immune to it basically the entire run. Not only that, when it comes to PvP, he'll be great just like Aizen, but don't think he's going to really be that great because he does not really even have sword per killer against him, so it does depend if you have him duped out or not. But when it comes to Arena, he's going to be absolutely great as well, and just like Aizen, since he does have the dodge, hollow, 50%, which is RNG in Arena. But overall, Genryusai is literally the best unit in the game, hands down. You could debate between him and Uryu. Very, very small differences, but what he punches out Uryu is going to be in terms of GQ. Being able to nuke it every single week of GQ, even without killer, is absolutely stupid. But that's pretty much going to be a tier list, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys later on. Peace out.